To the rest of the galaxy, the Milky Way is not a cradle of life, it is a graveyard. Across thousands of star systems, ancient empires have risen and fallen. Civilizations mastered quantum technology, conquered black holes, and bent space itself to their will, yet none of them fear a superweapon. None of them fear an artificial intelligence. None of them fear a planet killer. They fear one insignificant blue world orbiting an average yellow star. Earth. Because humans possess something the galaxy cannot understand. When aliens face death, they retreat. When humans face death, something awakens. A surge of chemicals floods the body. Pain becomes fuel. Fear becomes focus. And survival becomes obsession. Tote galaxy, this biological instability is a catastrophic anomaly to humanity. It's called adrenaline. And that is why the greatest empires in existence consider humans the most dangerous species ever born. The Deathworld classification. For 10,000 years the Galactic Archive maintained a simple rule. Every inhabited planet received a classification score. Paradise worlds, garden worlds, industrial worlds, hostile worlds, death worlds. The ranking measured environmental danger, biological aggression, disease exposure, natural disasters, and atmospheric instability. Most intelligent civilizations evolved on worlds scoring between 1 and 3. Their environments were gentle. Their predators were limited. Their weather patterns were predictable. A species that evolved under such conditions naturally prioritized cooperation, efficiency, and technological advancement. Then the survey fleets discovered Earth. At first the scanners malfunctioned. Earth possessed active tectonic plates capable of generating continent-destroying earthquakes. Its atmosphere contained enough oxygen to accelerate combustion. Its oceans generated hurricanes larger than nations. Its biosphere was filled with millions of competing lifeforms constantly attempting to kill, infect, poison, consume one another. The Survey AI classified Earth as a Level 9 death world. No intelligent species had ever been discovered on a world above Level 5. The result triggered an automatic review, then another, then another. Eventually a team of scientists personally traveled to Earth to verify the data. What they found would permanently alter galactic history. Because the dominant species on this impossible world wasn't hiding underground. It wasn't protected by armor. It wasn't genetically engineered. It wasn't technologically enhanced. It was human. And somehow, humanity had become the apex civilization of one of the most dangerous planets ever recorded. The galaxy immediately became interested. Soon that interest would become fear. The planet that never stops trying to kill you. Most alien children grew up in carefully controlled environments. Human children did not. Earth itself constantly attacked its inhabitants. Floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, lightning. Droughts, blizzards, tornadoes, or heat waves. Disease outbreaks. Humans adapted to all of them. Alien researchers struggled to understand how a civilization survived under such relentless pressure. Human history contained endless examples of communities rebuilding after complete devastation. Entire cities destroyed by earthquakes returned stronger. Regions flattened by hurricanes recovered. Civilizations collapsed and re-emerged. To alien observers, this behavior appeared irrational. A species should avoid danger. Humans repeatedly returned to it. Even more disturbing was the psychological effect. Generations exposed to constant environmental threats developed extraordinary resilience. They expected hardship. They prepared for disaster. And when catastrophe arrived, they rarely surrendered. The galaxy realized something terrifying. Earth wasn't merely humanity's home. It was humanity's training ground. Evolution through violence. The first alien biologists assumed human aggression was cultural. They were wrong. Humanity evolved inside one of the most competitive ecosystems ever documented. For millions of years, survival depended on constant adaptation. Every generation faced predators, scarcity, disease, conflict, environmental change. The weak traits disappeared. The successful traits survived. Human evolution became an endless arms race against nature itself. Alien scientists compared Earth to a battlefield that had lasted billions of years. Every species was simultaneously hunter and hunted. Every organism competed for resources. Every advantage mattered. Humans emerged from this brutal system carrying the legacy of countless survival battles encoded into their biology. The galaxy had never seen anything similar, and they were only beginning to understand the consequences. The adrenaline weapon. The first time the galaxy witnessed adrenaline in action, they thought their sensors were malfunctioning. An alien exploration team recorded a human trapped beneath the wreckage of a collapsed structure. According to every biological model in existence, the human should have died. Several bones were broken. Internal injuries were severe. Blood loss was critical. Yet instead of dying, the human lifted part of the debris and dragged another injured survivor to safety. Alien scientists replayed the footage thousands of times. The answer was hidden inside human biology. When danger appears, the human nervous system releases powerful chemicals. Heart rate increases. Muscles receive more oxygen. Pain signals become less effective. Reaction times accelerate. The body temporarily ignores limitations that normally protect it. To the galaxy, this was horrifying. Most intelligent species evolved mechanisms designed to avoid risk. Humans evolved a system capable of transforming terror into performance. Even worse, the effect appeared strongest during extreme emergencies. The more dangerous the situation became, the more unpredictable humans became. Alien military analysts began writing reports. One sentence appeared repeatedly. Human combat capability cannot be accurately predicted during crisis conditions. That sentence would later become one of the most important warnings in galactic history. Alien scientists spent decades studying human faces. One discovery disturbed them more than any other: human eyes. Most intelligent species evolved wide peripheral vision. They were prey species. Their ancestors survived by spotting threats approaching from multiple directions. Humans were different. Human eyes face forward, just like Earth's apex predators. Wolves, big cats, birds of prey. Forward-facing eyes improve depth perception. Distance calculation. Target tracking, hunting efficiency. Humanity carried one of the oldest signs of predatory evolution directly on its face. The discovery spread through galactic universities. Suddenly every alien who looked at a human noticed it. Those eyes. The eyes of a species that once hunted for survival. A species that tracked prey across entire continents. A species capable of focusing on a target for days, without stopping. Many aliens reported instinctive discomfort during direct eye contact. Some military species described humans as civilized predators. Others described them as something worse: predators that learned how to build civilizations. The impossible recovery. Galactic medicine considered damage permanent. Human biology disagreed. Alien doctors were stunned by Earth's healing processes. Broken bones repaired themselves. Skin regenerated. Muscles rebuilt after injury. Even severe wounds could eventually disappear. Humans called this normal. Aliens called it terrifying. Some species required advanced technology to recover from injuries that humans healed naturally. The more medical data researchers collected, the more disturbing the picture became. Human cells constantly repaired damage. Destroyed tissues were replaced. Immune systems hunted microscopic invaders without conscious control. Millions of biological battles occurred every second inside every human body. The galaxy slowly realized something extraordinary. Humanity wasn't surviving because Earth was safe. Humanity survived because their biology was constantly fighting for survival. Every day, every hour, every second. The pain tolerance mystery. Alien physiology treated pain as an absolute warning. Pain meant stop. Pain meant retreat. Pain meant survival. Humans ignored pain, not always, not safely, but often enough to terrify researchers. History contained countless examples. soldiers continuing to fight after severe injuries, athletes competing with broken bones, rescuers entering burning buildings, explorers surviving impossible environments. Alien scientists couldn't understand it. Human brains could prioritize goals above suffering. Pain became information rather than command. This biological flexibility made humans dangerously unpredictable. Because when survival depended on endurance, humans often continued long after other species would surrender. The hunters of persistence, Earth produced many predators. Humans became something stranger, persistence hunters. Instead of overwhelming prey with speed, ancient humans exhausted targets over time. They followed, tracked, waited, pursued. Hour after hour, day after day, until the prey collapsed. Alien military experts found the concept terrifying. Most species depended on short bursts of activity. Humans specialized in endurance. A determined human could continue moving through heat, exhaustion, hunger and discomfort longer than many galactic species. Suddenly, humanity's expansion across the stars seemed much more understandable. Fear is not weakness. The galaxy believed courage meant lacking fear. Humans defined courage differently. Humans felt fear. Strong fear, overwhelming fear, then acted anyway. Alien psychologists considered this remarkable. Human bravery wasn't the absence of fear, it was the ability to function despite fear. Entire professions existed around this principle. Firefighters, rescue teams, emergency responders, astronauts, soldiers, explorers. Humans repeatedly entered dangerous situations while fully aware of the risks. To alien observers, this bordered on insanity. To humans, it was duty. The first galactic warning. After decades of research, the Galactic Council finally released its conclusion. The report contained thousands of pages, millions of biological observations, centuries of simulations. Yet its final warning was surprisingly short. Humanity is not dangerous because of its technology. Humanity is dangerous because of its biology. Their civilization was built by a species forged on a death world. A species that evolved through disaster. A species capable of adapting faster than expected, recovering faster than expected, fighting longer than expected, surviving conditions that should be impossible. The galaxy had spent centuries fearing weapons. Now they feared something much older. The human body itself. And far beyond the borders of known space, hidden civilizations began preparing for a future conflict. Because if humans ever turned their death world instincts toward the stars, the balance of the galaxy could change forever. The day aliens studied human war, the Galactic Council expected humanity's wars to prove one thing: that humans were primitive. Instead, they discovered something far more disturbing. Every war in human history had become a lesson. Every defeat created new strategies. Every disaster created stronger defenses. Every failure produced innovation. Alien historians couldn't understand it. Most civilizations avoided repeating painful experiences. Humans documented them, studied them, analyzed them. The galaxy discovered that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't strength, it was adaptation. A human civilization that suffered defeat today could become vastly more dangerous tomorrow. That realization terrified military analysts throughout known space. The planet of endless predators. Alien ecologists spent years cataloging Earth's lifeforms. The results became required reading in military academies. Gigantic predators hunted across land. Deadly creatures ruled the oceans. Venomous organisms hid everywhere. Microscopic pathogens killed millions. Even harmless hudbidig. The ecosystem itself resembled a permanent battlefield. Yet humans thrived among all of it. Not because they were strongest, because they learned. They studied predators, understood behavior, developed tools, created weapons, mastered environments. Earth wasn't simply dangerous, it was the ultimate survival academy. And humanity graduated at the top of the class. Why humans never stop exploring. The galaxy found another anomaly. Humans willingly entered unknown territory. Again and again and again. Ancient oceans, frozen poles, deserts, jungles. Mountains. Deep oceans, outer space. Humans constantly moved toward danger. Alien psychologists struggled to explain it. Most intelligent species preferred certainty. Humans possessed curiosity powerful enough to overcome fear. This trait helped them cross continents. Sail oceans, reach the moon, and eventually build stars. Every frontier attracted humanity. Every mystery demanded investigation. The galaxy that behaved deeply on, because unknown space was full of dangers. Humans saw opportunity. The human immune army. Alien medicine considered disease one of civilization's greatest threats. Human biology had a different solution, an internal army. Billions of microscopic defenders constantly patrolled every human body, searching, identifying, destroying. Invading organisms faced relentless resistance. Alien researchers were fascinated. Human immune systems adapted in real time, learning from previous encounters, becoming stronger after surviving attacks. Entire alien medical institutes dedicated centuries to understanding this biological miracle. Some scientists even suggested that humanity itself was a living ecosystem constantly fighting invisible wars. The more they learned, the more impossible humans seemed. The survivors of extinction. Stinks global katastrofe impacts. Supervolcanoes climbed forever. Yet life survived, and eventually humanity emerged. Alien philosophers became obsessed with the idea. Humans descended from survivors. Every ancestor had endured impossible challenges. Every generation carried the legacy of survival. The galaxy humanity piece. It was the latest chapter in a 4 billion year survival story. And survival was written into every cell. The strength hidden in cooperation. Many alien observers focused on human aggression. They missed something equally powerful. Cooperation. Humans formed families. Communities. Cities. Nations. Global networks. During disasters, strangers often risked their lives for one another. Alien civilizations found this remarkable. The same species capable of violence was also capable of extraordinary compassion. When humans united around a common goal, their effectiveness multiplied dramatically. This duality confused alien analysts. Predator instincts and social cooperation, existing inside the same species. Together, they created something unprecedented. The human refusal to quit. Alien simulations repeatedly produced the same result. Humans should have failed. Yet, reality disagreed. Throughout history, humanity encountered impossible obstacles: famine, war, disease, natural disasters, collapse. Still, they continued. Alien researchers eventually discovered a recurring pattern. Humans often succeeded not because they were strongest, but because they refused to stop trying. Failure became temporary. Defeat became a lesson. The concept fascinated the entire galaxy. The nightmare of human innovation. Most civilizations innovated gradually. Humans innovated under pressure. When threatened, human creativity accelerated. Wars produced new technologies. Disasters created new engineering solutions. Crises generated breakthroughs. Alien military leaders considered this extremely dangerous. The worst time to underestimate humans was during hardship, because hardship often triggered their greatest achievements. The galactic fear begins. By now the evidence was impossible to ignore. Deathworld origin, predator evolution, adrenaline response, rapid healing, persistence hunting, curiosity, innovation. Cooperation. Resilience. Every discovery pointed toward the same conclusion. Humanity represented something the galaxy had never encountered before. Not merely another civilization. A completely different survival strategy. Ancient empires began quietly updating defense plans. Military budgets increased. Observation fleets expanded. The fear had begun. The secret meeting. Far beyond known space, representatives from the galaxy's most powerful empires gathered in secrecy. No public announcements, no official records, no witnesses. Only one topic appeared on the agenda: humanity. The delegates reviewed centuries of data. Every report made the situation worse. Eventually, silence filled the chamber. Then one ancient alien leader spoke. If these creatures ever unite their survival instincts with interstellar technology, the room became still. No one disagreed. For the first time in galactic history, the strongest civilizations in existence were afraid of a species that had only recently reached the stars. And the story was only beginning. The Silent Watchers. For decades, humanity never realized it was being watched, hidden beyond the moon. Disguised among asteroids, lurking at the edges of the solar system. Alien observation fleets monitored every major human development. They watched empires rise, watched nations fall, watched humanity survive disaster after disaster. At first, the mission was scientific. But eventually the purpose changed. Observation became surveillance. Surveillance became concern. Concern became fear. Every report arriving at the Galactic Council painted the same picture. Humans were progressing too quickly, and nobody understood why. Most civilizations required thousands of years to develop advanced technology. Humanity compressed the process into centuries. Alien analysts couldn't explain it. Primitive agriculture, industrial revolution, electricity to computers, Sci-Fi GHT. Artificial intelligence. The timeline looked impossible. Entire alien civilizations needed longer to achieve half as much progress. The deeper researchers investigated, the more alarming the pattern became. Human innovation accelerated under pressure. Conflict created invention. Competition created improvement. Crisis created breakthroughs. Earth's chaos functioned like an evolutionary engine. And humanity was accelerating toward the stars. First contact simulations. The Galactic Council performed millions of simulations. Every scenario asked the same question. What happens when humanity discovers the galaxy? The answers were disturbing. Humans explored aggressively, expanded rapidly, formed alliances unexpectedly, adapted to unfamiliar environments, and consistently exceeded projections. Some simulations ended peacefully. Others ended catastrophically, but one result appeared repeatedly. Humanity always changed the balance of power. Always. No matter how the simulation began. The discovery of human curiosity. Alien psychology classified curiosity as useful. Humans transformed it into an obsession. When humans saw a mystery, they investigated. When they found a boundary, they crossed it. When they discovered danger, they explored it. This behavior confused the galaxy. Most species evolved caution. Humans evolved curiosity powerful enough to challenge caution. Entire human civilizations had crossed oceans simply to discover what existed beyond the horizon. The galaxy realized something terrifying, that no border would stop humanity forever. L'Italiano. The species that runs toward the unknown. An alien explorer encountering danger would retreat. A human explorer often moved closer. The historical evidence was overwhelming. Deep oceans, active volcanoes, frozen wastelands, dangerous jungles, outer space. Humans consistently entered environments that logic suggested avoiding. Alien researchers initially assumed recklessness. Later they understood. Humans accepted risk as the price of discovery, and discovery mattered more than comfort. The fear of human potential. The oldest galactic empires began reviewing ancient records, searching, comparing. Looking for parallels, they found none. No species resembled humanity. No civilization followed the same path. No Deathworld species had ever reached this level of development. Humanity was unprecedented, and unprecedented things frightened ancient powers, because history offered no guidance, No prediction, no certainty. Only possibility. The Secret Earth Directive. Eventually, the Galactic Council issued a classified directive. Earth would remain under constant observation. Additional fleets were deployed. More scientists assigned. More intelligence gathered. Officially, the mission remained peaceful. Unofficially, everyone understood the truth. Humanity had become a strategic concern. The galaxy wasn't preparing for war. Not yet. But it was preparing for possibilities. And humanity generated more possibilities than any species ever discovered. The humans who refused limits. Alien civilizations loved certainty. Humans challenged it. Every generation broke assumptions. Every century shattered expectations. What appeared impossible today often became routine tomorrow. Flight of computers. Space travel. Artificial intelligence. Human history became a sequence of impossible achievements, becoming reality. Alien analysts hated predicting humans. Humans kept proving predictions wrong. The coming awakening. Across the galaxy, whispers began spreading. Stories, rumors, warnings. Tales of a death-world civilization approaching the stars. Young alien officers studied human behavior. Scientists debated human biology. Military academies analyzed human warfare. The name Earth appeared everywhere. Not because humanity was powerful, but because humanity might become powerful. And that possibility worried everyone. The signal, then it happened. Deep within an alien listening station, operators detected something unexpected. A signal. Origin, Earth. A human transmission had traveled farther than anyone anticipated. The message itself wasn't dangerous. But what it represented was, humanity was reaching outward, searching, listening, asking if anyone else existed. And for the first time in galactic history, the galaxy had to decide whether to answer. The debate that shook the galaxy. The signal from Earth spread through the Galactic Council faster than any emergency alert. Ancient rulers, military commanders, scientific leaders, all demanded answers. For centuries, humanity had remained a distant curiosity, a dangerous possibility hidden inside a death world. Now everything had changed. Humans were actively reaching into the galaxy, seeking contact, seeking knowledge, seeking whoever might be listening. The council immediately split into opposing factions. One group argued for immediate contact. Another demanded continued secrecy. A third faction suggested something far more extreme. Isolation. Permanent isolation. Their reasoning was simple. Humanity represented uncertainty. And uncertainty frightened empires that had ruled for millions of years. Entire civilizations had been built upon predictable systems. Humans were not predictable. That single fact dominated every discussion. As debates intensified, one terrifying realization emerged. No matter what decision they made, humanity would eventually discover the galaxy. The question was no longer whether contact would happen. The question was who would control it. For the first time in galactic history, the most powerful civilizations in existence found themselves arguing over a species that had not even left its own solar system. And the arguments were becoming increasingly desperate. The ancient empires warning. Among all the civilizations attending the emergency council, one empire commanded universal respect, the Ether Dominion, an ancient civilization older than many stars. Their territory stretched across thousands of systems. Their history reached back millions of years. When their representatives finally spoke, the chamber became silent. The ancient leader slowly approached the center platform. His species had witnessed countless civilizations rise and fall. Entire galactic ages had passed before his eyes. Then he delivered a warning. We have seen powerful species. We have seen intelligent species. We have seen immortal species. But we have never seen a species like humanity. The chamber remained silent. The ancient ruler continued. They evolved where they should not exist. They survived conditions that should have destroyed them, and they improve fastest when threatened. Several military leaders exchanged uneasy glances. The Ether Dominion had studied humanity longer than anyone. Their conclusion was disturbing. Humanity was not dangerous because of what it currently possessed. Humanity was dangerous because nobody knew its upper limits. The galaxy feared human strength. The Ether Dominion feared human potential. And potential was far more terrifying. The hidden stations around Earth, unknown to humanity. Dozens of alien observation stations already surrounded the solar system, some hid within asteroid fields. Others drifted beyond Pluto. A few occupied deep space regions where human telescopes rarely searched. Their mission had originally been simple: observe, record, report, nothing more. But after Earth's signal reached deep space, everything changed. The stations received new orders. Increase surveillance, monitor human communications. Track technological development. Predict future expansion. Alien analysts worked continuously. Every rocket launch was recorded. Every satellite deployment was studied. Every scientific breakthrough was analyzed. The deeper they investigated, the more uncomfortable they became. Human progress showed no signs of slowing. In fact, the rate of advancement appeared to be increasing. Some analysts predicted humanity would require centuries to reach neighboring stars. Others suggested decades. A few alarming reports suggested even less. The station commanders reviewed the projections repeatedly. None of them liked the results, because every model pointed toward the same conclusion. Humanity was approaching a threshold. A moment when Earth would stop being a planetary civilization and become a galactic one. And when that moment arrived, the galaxy might never be the same again. The first human Starship project. Deep inside Earth's most advanced research facilities, humanity unknowingly began the project that terrified the galaxy. The goal was simple: reach the stars. For centuries, humans had stared into the night sky wondering what existed beyond their world. Now, technology was finally approaching the point where answers seemed possible. Scientists proposed revolutionary propulsion systems. Engineers designed vessels capable of surviving deep space. Artificial intelligence models calculated routes toward nearby stars. To humanity, it was the next step in exploration. The galaxy was the beginning of a nightmare. Alien monitoring stations immediately detected unusual activity. Research funding increased. New launch facilities appeared. Secret prototypes were constructed. Nothing was operational yet. But the trend was obvious. Humanity was preparing to leave its cradle. For the first time, some alien strategists began discussing evacuation plans for nearby systems. If humanity reached the stars, containment would become impossible. And everyone knew it. The alien prediction failure. For hundreds of years, alien supercomputers had attempted to predict humanity's future. Every major civilization contributed data. Every known model was tested. Every simulation was refined. Yet the results never matched reality. Humans consistently behaved in unexpected ways. They solved problems nobody anticipated. They survived situations considered hopeless. They invented technologies ahead of schedule. One prediction model estimated humans would require 500 years to reach advanced spaceflight. The actual estimate dropped to 200, then 100, then 50. Finally, the system declared its own projections unreliable. That had never happened before. Alien analysts were stunned. The galaxy's greatest predictive systems could accurately forecast the development of thousands of civilizations. Humanity remained the exception. The official report contained a single alarming conclusion. Human behavior contains an unacceptable level of uncertainty. That sentence spread across the galaxy. For many leaders, it was more frightening than any weapon. The discovery hidden in human DNA. One research team decided to investigate a deeper mystery. Why were humans so adaptable? The answer appeared hidden inside their genetic structure. Alien biologists discovered that human evolution had never truly stopped. Humanity was still changing, still adapting, still responding to new environments. Most advanced civilizations reached biological stability long ago. Humans had not. Their species remained dynamic, flexible, unfinished. This discovery alarmed the scientific community. It meant humanity wasn't merely dangerous now. Humanity could become something even more dangerous in the future. Every new world they settled might change them. Every challenge might strengthen them. Every obstacle might force new adaptations. The galaxy suddenly understood why Earth produced such unusual beings. Humanity wasn't the final result of evolution. Humanity was evolution still in progress. And nobody could predict where that process would lead. Not even the humans themselves. The human question. As fear spread through the galaxy, a new question emerged. Not what are humans, but what will humans become? Ancient empires spent centuries studying civilizations. Yet, humanity defied every category. Predators who cooperated. Explorers who feared nothing. Builders who thrived during chaos. Survivors who improved under pressure. Every answer created new questions. The more the galaxy learned, the less they understood. For the first time, the greatest minds in existence admitted a terrifying possibility. Humanity might represent the beginning of something entirely new. Something the galaxy had never encountered before. Humanity successfully reaches nearby stars. The results shocked everyone. Human colonies spread rapidly. Hostile worlds were settled. Dangerous environments were conquered. Failed colonies adapted and survived. New settlements emerged faster than predicted. Every obstacle accelerated human innovation. Instead of slowing humanity down, adversity made them stronger. The simulation eventually became impossible to control. Human civilization expanded across hundreds of systems. Many alien strategists requested the simulation be terminated. The outcome was too disturbing. The military assessment. Eventually, the Galactic Defense Directorate released its most classified report. The findings were alarming. Humanity was not currently the strongest civilization. Not even close. But strength wasn't the concern, growth was. Every measured category showed acceleration, technology, industry, population, exploration, scientific advancement. The report concluded that humanity's future potential exceeded acceptable risk thresholds. That single sentence spread quietly among military leadership. Defensive fleets were reinforced. Observation networks expanded. Contingency plans multiplied. The galaxy wasn't preparing for war. It was preparing for uncertainty. And uncertainty had a human face. The message they never sent. After years of debate, one proposal nearly passed. Contact humanity immediately. Reveal the truth. Introduce Earth to the galaxy. The message was prepared. The diplomatic fleet assembled. Ancient leaders reviewed the final plan. Then everything stopped. One final question changed the decision. What happens if humans react differently than expected? Silence filled the chamber. Nobody knew the answer, and that uncertainty terrified them. The transmission was cancelled. The fleet stood down. The message was never sent. Meanwhile, on Earth, humanity continued looking toward the stars, completely unaware that an entire galaxy had almost revealed itself. Humanity builds the first gate. For centuries, humanity dreamed of crossing the stars. Now that dream was becoming reality. Hidden inside an enormous orbital facility, scientists completed humanity's most ambitious project. The first experimental interstellar drive. Nobody knew if it would work. Nobody knew if it was safe. But history showed that uncertainty never stopped humans. The prototype activated. Energy flooded through the structure. Space itself appeared to bend. Across the galaxy, alien monitoring stations detected the event instantly. Emergency alerts spread through hundreds of civilizations. For the first time, humanity was no longer confined to Earth. The doorway to the stars had opened. The signal that terrified the galaxy. The activation generated something unexpected. A signal, not a communication. A signature. Every alien sensor network across known space detected it. Ancient civilizations immediately recognized the implication. Humanity had crossed a technological threshold. The species from the Deathworld was approaching the stars. Panic spread quietly through military circles. Because history had never prepared them for what came next. The Galactic Council had delayed for centuries. Now delay was no longer possible. Humanity's technological leap forced a decision. A diplomatic fleet was assembled, not a war fleet. Not yet. Thousands of ships gathered from dozens of civilizations. Their mission was simple: observe humanity from closer range. Determine whether first contact remained safe. Yet, as the fleet crossed interstellar space, many commanders secretly wondered the same thing. What if humanity was all ready to advance to contain? For the first time, the galaxy was moving toward Earth. And history was about to change forever. The ancient fear. As the fleet advanced, the oldest empire in the galaxy issued a warning. We are not approaching humanity because they are weak. We are approaching because they may soon become impossible to predict. The statement spread throughout the fleet. Veteran admirals became silent. Scientists reviewed centuries of data again. Every report pointed toward the same conclusion. Humanity evolved differently. Adapted differently. Expanded differently. The fear was no longer based on what humans had done. The fear was based on what humans might do next. Something in deep space. On Earth, astronomers noticed unusual anomalies. Tiny disturbances. Unexpected signals. Strange energy patterns. Nothing conclusive. Nothing obvious. But something was there. Human scientists became fascinated. Research programs expanded. Observatories focused toward deep space. The search intensified. Unknown to them, they were beginning to detect the approaching alien fleet. Humanity was closer to first contact than anyone realized. The discovery, then it happened. A human deep space observatory captured an image. Only a fraction of a second. Only a glimpse, but enough in an object artificial, impossible. Moving through space in ways no known human technology could achieve. The image spread through classified scientific channels. Debates erupted immediately. Some called it an error. Others called it evidence. A few called it proof. For the first time in history, humanity possessed evidence that it might not be alone. The hidden network exposed. As investigations continued, humanity discovered more anomalies. 1 became 10. 10 became hundreds. The pattern was undeniable. Something had been watching Earth for a very long time. Hidden observation stations. Strange objects. Artificial structures concealed throughout the solar system. The evidence shocked humanity. The realization was even more shocking. Earth had never been alone. Someone had been observing, waiting, studying. Emergency session. Across the galaxy, panic erupted. Humanity had discovered the observation network. The Galactic Council immediately entered emergency session. Thousands of delegates arrived. Military fleets mobilized. Scientists argued. Politicians demanded action. For centuries, the galaxy controlled the timeline. Now, humanity controlled it. The balance had shifted. And everyone knew it. We are not alone. The announcement changed Earth forever. Humanity finally learned the truth. Alien civilizations existed. 1,000 entières cultures. Entire historias entires older than humanity's recorded history. Crowds gathered around the world. Some celebrated. Some feared. Some stared toward the night sky in silence. For the first time, humanity understood its place in a much larger universe. And yet one question remained. Why had the galaxy been afraid? The galactic truth. The answer arrived from the oldest civilization in existence. A single message, a simple truth. The galaxy never feared human technology. Technology could be copied. Technology could be understood. Technology could be matched. The galaxy feared humanity itself. A species born on a death world. A species that evolved through catastrophe. A species that transformed fear into courage, pain into strength, failure into progress, and survival into destiny. The ancient ruler concluded with words that echoed across the stars. We feared you because every civilization adapts to the galaxy. You are the first civilization we have ever seen capable of forcing the galaxy to adapt to you. Silence followed. Then humanus not wheat fair. Not with anger, but with curiosity. The same curiosity that had carried them from caves to planets, from planets to stars. Thank you for watching. If humanity's story inspires you, subscribe to Irongeist HFY and join us for the next chapter among the stars.